Do you like my beard? I actually used to have a beard this long. Now I have a cat. Okay, now get all your fur out of shot. Yeah, like that's gonna happen. Hey folks, welcome back to the Monkey Shine Lab. Got something new for you today. This is what we're gonna call What is Wrong with You Reviews. And this is where I present a film that I have happened upon. It's something that you're maybe not going to expose yourself to. I guess we should probably actually, let's start with a disclaimer. All right, now that we've got the legalities out of the way and you kids are all out of the room, are you out of the room? Yes? Okay, good. All right, now that it's just us adults, I'm going to present some movies that maybe are off the beaten path, maybe that you haven't thought about. And so anyway, the the inaugural edition is, let me hold it up so there's no okay, you know what? What we like to do around here is up the ante. So instead of just holding the stupid DVDs up, this is not a, hey, I bought this today. Let's up the ante by going like full-blown graphics, like. What you think of that? Pretty cool, huh? Can't read the spines of the DVDs anyway. You might as well have something else to look at for right now. Outside of me. Anyway, I will stay in frame just for a frame of reference. But I'm going to talk about Sky Sharks. I find weird shit. Sometimes my wife sits through it with me. Sometimes she doesn't. This one, she did not. And when I told her that I was going to review the film, but I needed to watch it one more time, she said, "What do you mean one more time?" And I said, "Well, I've watched the movie a couple times." And "You've watched it a couple times already?" "Yeah." "And you're going to watch it one more time?" "Yeah." Because I just want to be able to solidly transfer what this movie's all about. And she said, "Oh, I can see that. I guess I can see that." If she had seen this film, she probably would have felt differently. Like, why the hell would you watch that once, let alone 4 times? Yes, I've watched it 4 times. You know, I did want to get an overall, just complete rundown of the film so that I could just encapsulate it for you. This is not for kids. This is not Sharknado. Sharknado gets a little, bloody here or there, but it's the Sci-Fi Channel. This movie, it looks like it's been done by the Sci-Fi Channel. It looks very slick. The effects are properly cheesy. And there are some cameo appearances by some B-movie actors and character actors that you'll notice in the beginning of the film, but mostly what it is a German production with like Tony Todd attached. Tony Todd, if you don't know who Tony Todd is, he's the guy who was in Candyman. He is the Candyman. What's it about? Blood and tits. It's kind of a ripoff of Resident Evil in a lot of ways. There's this serum called K7B. K7B is a reagent. It brings the dead back to life, amongst other things. It keeps people young. It drives people insane. It does whatever the plot kind of needs it to do throughout the movie. And this film spans basically the future all the way back to World War II. It touches on Vietnam at one point. We get some Vietnam action. They talk about Operation Paperclip. If you don't know what Operation Paperclip is, it's at the end of World War II. We came in and snagged up a whole bunch of Axis scientists and doctors and things like that to help us with the rocket programs and vaccine programs and all sorts of other stuff. Basically, all of the people that were useful were given, you know, immunity and new identities and moved to the United States so that they could help us with all of our various bits of science. So the movie tries to be like all historical and shit, but basically what it is an excuse to have Nazi zombies ride sharks and attack people in airplanes in creative and wildly, graphically bloody ways. There's no other still, in fact, that I can show you from the film, really, unless I went and captured it myself. But I went and looked for stuff on the internet. You can too. This is really all I can show you, probably before YouTube would be like, you know. People are carved up, shot up, and put in a blender by, like, a couple times, almost literally, by an effects team overseen by Tom Savini. Tom Savini is one of my all-time heroes. If you don't know who Tom Savini is, wow, we're going way down the rabbit hole. But basically, Tom Savini was the makeup effects artist who did Dawn of the Dead and all those movies forward. He has directed several films, including a remake of The Night of the Living Dead itself in 1990. And he's just a really great guy. He was a Vietnam photographer who came home with all of these images of people scrambled up from warfare via the horrible tools that only man could make to tear another man apart. And he put it into the makeup industry in horror movies and stuff. He did all the Friday the 13th effects. He did all of that crap. And there are a few fantastic practical effect things that I will not ruin. It's just be prepared for some really, really strong stuff. It's a fun ride ultimately, but you know, we're talking about undead Nazi zombie sharks flying through the air. It does hang with the B-movie rule. You have to at least kill someone in a very graphic and ugly manner, have some action or some nudity every 10 minutes. And it almost like clockwork, because it's a German-made film, they're efficient about their tits and their blood. One of the women who is one of the leads actually paid for part of the movie. She's listed as a co-producer or producer or something like that. She just kind of struts around and has, artfully thrown out her cleavage. The Germans also, being efficient as they are, they did not hire any women with natural breasts. They wanted full-on aerodynamic. Well, it was an image choice. Everything is an image choice in this because everything is computer generated. Everything but the breasts, which were redone by surgeons. It is seriously jacked up bloody. People bisected with huge blades that come out of the forearms of these undead Nazi people that for some reason always have to have respirators on. Gas masks and stuff to make them look extra spooky and ugly, and then they take off the gas mask and they've got half the jaws torn away. There's no end to the amount of carnage on the screen at times, and it's played to a comedic degree. So if you're not, again, if you're not ready for that kind of a movie, don't sit and watch this, okay? You can see the trailer online. I'm not even going to bother putting the link in. You can use Google, you idiot. But Sky Sharks here, I purchased it for $9 and some cents at the box store. Or no, I'm sorry, I got it sent out through Amazon, but it was $10. You can probably pick it up for a lot cheaper now, but this was the type of idiocy that I figured there's no way in hell it's coming to Netflix. And with the content that's on that disc, I guarantee you, it's not. There's no way in hell somebody would watch this and go, yeah, I paid for that. But I did. Monkey Shine Video, we rent so you don't have to. I'm going to have to come up with some sort of a rating system on these things. So leave a comment below, how many out of 5 and what they should be. I'm still trying to figure, what, bananas, monkey skulls. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Help me. It'll be fun. We'll do it together. That way this won't be just such a passive thing of like you sit there and watch me. I probably should have gotten a little more gussied up. There it is. The very first What's Wrong With You review. Sky Sharks. Don't watch it with the fam. Keep this one out of hands of children. Sky Sharks, 4 out of 5. The acting is horrendous at times. It's Germans who, I believe some of them have just been taught their lines phonetically. They were probably going to overdub over the various actors' voices anyway with German. But it's surprisingly international cast for what it is. And again, the special effects are kind of cheap and cheesy, but they grow on you, and there's this kind of adorably stupid, aspect to the whole thing. Kind of reminded me of an adult film that was done like to be on a big budget scale where they use all the special effects in the camp. Don't act like you've never seen one. It's 2021 looking at me like that. Anyway, Sky Sharks. This isn't a poorly shot porn, but it could be. It's way too much blood and death. But it has everything else. Everything but poop play. There's no poop play in this German production. So that's good. That's really good. Thanks for coming to the Monkey Shine Lab for our brand new What's Wrong With You review of Sky Sharks. Are we waiting to go to commercial? So I got shit to do.